Welcome back. Now, Junaid, I'm really excited about this bit.
We need different chairs.
I know. We're normally sat over there,
normally on that side,
interviewing people in these chairs.
You know what that means?
But I think it means that we're going to be interviewed by one of my
We're under
heroes.
the spotlight.
Look
Yes,
at this.
yes.
We're being interviewed by Sheikh Gabriel Ronaani.
Wow.
Alhamdulillah.
Doesn't get any better than this.
Alhamdulillah. I'm excited to interview you guys.
MashaAllah.
You guys are on the spot. Okay, so let's jump right into it because I'm excited. I've known you guys since December,
Yeah.
and but I haven't had the chance to actually sit down with you guys and hear it right from you guys.
Okay.
So actually, subhanAllah, one of the most important things for Muslims in general and non-Muslims, they're very interested to know about how someone converted or reverted to Islam. Actually, on Google, the most searched question by Muslim countries is, how did you become Muslim?
Really?
Wow.
People love to hear the conversion stories.
Okay.
And so that's the first question I got. How did you guys become Muslim? What's your journey to Islam? What did it start?
Shall I go
I'm
first?
very,
Why not?
I'll go first, shall I?
Age before beauty.
Thanks. So my journey to Islam is very straightforward. I was born and raised as a Roman Catholic. I used to go to church every Sunday. I was an altar boy. Yeah, I used to help with the priest deliver the service. I went to Catholic schools. I had a Catholic education upbringing. I used to go to church every Sunday. Yeah, I was absolutely happy with my faith, my religion as a child. I felt really special in that I not only had the love of two loving parents and siblings, but I also had love from God. And that made me feel special as a child, alhamdulillah.
Super.
So this was my upbringing. Now, I used to ask questions. When I got to about the age of 18, I used to ask questions, and I was asking questions to which I was not getting answers. I was just getting the patronising tap on the head with the words, "Just have faith, son." That's what they were saying to me. Now, I hide this well, and I don't often show this side of myself, but I am quite an intelligent guy.
You hide it very well.
I do indeed, I do. So the patronising pat on the head and the phrase, "Just have faith, son," was simply not enough for me. So I found myself over time just turning away from the institution of the church and of the teachings and the learnings that I'd had as a child, and kind of just turning my back on that, because it didn't provide the answers to the questions that I was asking. So I was kind of out on my own for nearly 10 years. So from between 18 and 28, I still had a strong faith in God, but I had no particular outlet and practice for me just to have a formal practice of my faith. Now, when I was 28, I was working in an office in a town in the UK called Bradford.
Oh, great.
Now,
Of course.
for anybody who doesn't know, Bradford has one or two Muslims.
Yes.
In fact, it's about 60 to 70%.
Isn't it called like Bradistan?
Bradistan, that's right.
Affectionate
Absolutely.
as Bradistan.
Absolutely.
It is.
So, I used to ask similar questions to the Muslims that I had and encountered in that office. And surprisingly, they gave me answers. Surprisingly. And if they couldn't answer a particular question, what they used to say is, "I'll find out for you. I'll tell you tomorrow."
Great.
And then they would come back with the answer, but not just the answer to the question. They'd come back with references from Quran and Hadith as to why the validity of that answer. So alhamdulillah, I was so impressed. And what I was most impressed about is that these people, their religion was not just something that they practiced once a week. It's something that was at the centre, at the core of their entire being.
Super.
They lived this faith. So I guess that I was fortunate in the respect that I encountered Muslims who were good practicing Muslims. And had that not been the case, well, maybe I'd be walking a different path right now.
But really fast to jump to, what's that point where you said, you know what, I'm going to become Muslim today?
I read the Quran. I read the Quran. And the first page of the Quran, we all know how it starts. It starts with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the compassionate and merciful. Alhamdulillah. And then you read down Al-Fatiha. Yeah? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Praise be to Allah, Lord of the whole of creation. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, the Rahmah, the mercy. The Maliki Yawmiddin, the owner of the Day of Judgment. And I was reading these lines, and it was almost like I had a pencil and I was ticking each line, saying, I understand that. Yes, I agree with that. Tick, yes. Tick, yes. And by the time I got to the bottom of that page, I can promise you, I turned to the back of the book to see who'd written this thing. I was thinking, this is genius. Genius. So who wrote this? I didn't know what I know now. Of course, these are Allah's words. Of course it's genius, you know. So I continued to read that book. It took me almost 6 months to get to the end of it. But systematically, the Quran answered every question that I'd ever had. And at the end of that book, I said, I think I know what this means. Alhamdulillah. So, Junaid.
So, yes, I suppose my background was similar, but then kind of different. I was born into a Christian household. I was born at Church of England. I remember as a child going to church. I remember going to Sunday school. I joined a Christian youth group, which has to be the most inappropriately named youth group for Christians in the world. It was called we were Crusaders. It was just in retrospect terrible. And I went there for year after year after year, and like you said, just enjoyed learning about God, enjoyed the whole, just being part of something really, really, really special. But then as I grew up and certainly got into the teenage years, you know, cars and football and other things arrived. So I kind of, not intentionally, but just found myself withdrawing from the church and from the physical practice of religion, but not from my faith. And then several years later, I found myself with a great job, with a great car, living in a nice house, all the trappings of being a successful individual. Yeah, I've been a successful individual. So I just thought I got it made, you know. And then I found myself running a training course. Now I'd run 2-week training courses. So you'd spend 2 weeks with people, residential. So across that 2 weeks, you'd really get under the skin of people and really learn loads about them. And there was an individual on one of these courses, and they weren't eating or drinking. And I thought that was very, very strange. So I just asked them, "Is everything okay? You know, why is it that you're not eating or drinking?" And they went, "Oh, it's Ramadan." And I kind of went, "What's Ramadan?" You know what I mean? They went, "Oh, I'm a Muslim. What's my ignorance knew I knew nothing. I knew nothing about Islam. I'd been raised in a situation where I just didn't meet Muslims, didn't mix with Muslims, just by chance. Happened to now be sat in front of one. I thought, this is fascinating. So I just started having a conversation, and they said, "Have you heard of Adam?" And I went, of course I've heard about him. He's the first human being. And then, well, actually, he is the first human being, and he's a prophet of Islam as well as Christianity. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? He's one of us. No, I can't be. What? And then they started talking about Noah, and they started talking about Job and Lot and Joseph. And then they said, have you heard of Jesus? Have you? And I was like, whoa, now he's definitely one of ours. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, no, we love Jesus. We love Jesus. We adore Jesus. There's an entire chapter dedicated to his mother in the Holy Quran. I was like, wow. So I was fascinated. I found myself asking question after question after question after question, just trying to find information about this religion. It was just incredible. And I found where Yusuf was kind of almost searching for something. I wasn't, but I found it was answering questions I didn't even know I'd been asking, if that makes sense. And then I started to panic a bit, because I kind of thought, I see where this is going. You know what I mean? So I'll be honest, I started looking for the flaw. I started looking for what is wrong with this that would stop me taking that lead. Amazing. And so I researched it from almost a negative point of view, and I was looking for, and I couldn't find it. And because I couldn't find it, within about 6 months, I just thought, well, this is me. Went to
tell us about your first visit to
I'm conscious of time. And my first, so I've been ringing these guys, I've been ringing, asking question after question after question, and they eventually said, look, I think it's ready for you to go to a mosque. And I was like,
Oh, that's a big
I'm not sure. And they were some distance away, so I'm not sure about that. So they said, find a mosque, they'll love you, go to the mosque, it'll be fine. So I jumped in my car, I think it was a Wednesday evening, and I found a mosque. I was Sheffield born and bred, so I was in Sheffield. Drove to the mosque and I just kind of drove past. Thought, all right, okay. Turned round and came there, just drove past and completely chickened out. Thought, all right, I'll come back. I'm off Friday. I'll come back Friday afternoon. It won't be busy then. You know what I mean? Little did I know. So I turn up on Friday, Jummah. There's thousands. I'm like, what is it? Christmas? You know what I mean? There's thousands and thousands. I thought, well, I'll bite the bullet. In I go. So I walked in. People were coming out and. They just, can I help you? I said, yeah, I want to know about this religion. I think this religion is amazing. It was like, boom. The coffee came out, the water came out, the cake came out. You sit down. And it was amazing. And everything that I'd learned and everything that I'd seen in the people that I'd met was just personified in those moments. And it was just like, falling in love with a religion, but falling in love with a people. And then I now know, because it's a deen, it's not just a religion. It encapsulates every fibre of your being, and it affects everything that you do. And I took my shahada, and I haven't
We could just
looked
talk
back.
about this. Just
I know, I was thinking,
Unfortunately,
we don't have the
time
time.
doesn't
Yeah,
allow.
it does not allow.
Okay, just to remind the audience that they can send their questions, inshallah, on the link that's displayed on the screen, inshallah. But really quick, why are you guys called the two white Muslims?
Oh, great question. I mean, I suppose there's three very good reasons.
Three good reasons.
Reason number one,
There are two of us.
reason number two,
We're both white.
and most importantly, reason number three,
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, we're both
Muslim,
Alhamdulillah.
and proud to be
Proud
so.
to be.
But to take it a little bit further, we met in a mosque when I moved into Wakefield many years ago, and we've been inseparable ever since. We just kind of got, well, I'm just very needy, aren't
I've
I?
been trying to get rid of it
I'm
for
like a
years, and
limpet.
it just won't go.
Tell me you like me.
No.
Tell me you like me. So we found ourselves travelling up and down the country, and every time we did, we'd find a mosque. When it came to prayer time, we'd go in and we'd engage with people and we'd get talking to people. And then when we go back, we'd hear them saying, "Oh, you never guess who we've had in? We've only had Junaid and Yusuf in."
Who?
You know, Junaid and Yusuf.
Who's that?
Those two white Muslims.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so it just landed.
This
and
is what people used to call
this
us.
is what they call us. Don't got a Muslim hair. Shabash.
But people used to refer to us as the two white Muslims.
Yeah.
And what we thought was, actually, as a brand image name,
It works.
that's quite a catchy name.
It's amazing.
It's what
Because,
we are.
for me, as a, let's say, in the Western world, I would feel more comfortable coming and asking you a question,
Well, that's
as
the
opposed
thing.
to asking me a question.
That's
The
the
way I
thing.
look.
Yeah,
That's what people are doing.
It's why we then started a YouTube channel called The Two White Muslims, and we created a 21 video playlist which we've tagged everything you ever wanted to know about Islam and Muslim culture,
But couldn't be bothered to ask.
and we put those up on the internet for that very reason. It took us 2 years to create this because we just wanted to give back. I often think, if I hadn't met those Muslims, if I hadn't gone into the mosque on that day, if they hadn't been so great, and it scares me and it upsets me, I think, well, I might be treading a very different path. You know what I mean?
We would be treading different
Yes.
paths. I wouldn't perhaps have married the person that I married.
Same
because
here.
she's born Muslim.
My wife is
I
born
wouldn't
Muslim
have
as well,
the two
yeah.
beautiful daughters that I've got,
Yeah.
none of that.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, I'd be in a very different space right now. But I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful to Allah
Yes.
for giving me the opportunity to be Muslim,
Yeah.
and for giving me the opportunity to shout from the rooftops
Yes.
about how proud I am
So
to be Muslim.
we kind of want to give back. We want to help other people, because I think I would not have woken up one morning and thought, I'm going to find out about a religion I've never really heard of. Somebody needs to come into your life and kind of just nudge you. So we're trying to do that now. We created the YouTube channel with a view to getting that out there, and then we thought after 2 years, we'll just go back to our old jobs, didn't
Yes.
we? We'll just give it up, go back to our old jobs. We've done our bit now. Didn't work
No.
like that, did it?
You guys are basically systematically breaking stereotypes.
We're trying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're
And
trying.
people need to use this. They need to use the work that you're doing. So how can someone help?
Okay.
Do you know-
Very simply,
Yeah.
we created our YouTube channel,
Yep.
Two White Muslims.
That's
TWO White Muslim.
TWO White Muslims on YouTube. Go to YouTube, TWO White Muslims.
Subscribe.
And whilst you're there, it is against the law not to subscribe.
You've got to
Yes.
subscribe.
You've
Gotta
got to
subscribe. Yes.
You have to do
It's
that.
the law.
Pick up
You
the phone,
also,
subscribe.
I mean, if you think about it, subscribing, it doesn't commit you to anything.
Doesn't
It
cost you anything.
Cost you anything. As far as we're aware, it does not cause premature death.
We can't be held to that one. We're not going to be held to that one.
No, we're not. So if you subscribe and then die, don't come running to us.
No,
It's
but
one
genuinely, because we're putting content up every single week, and the way that YouTube works is the more subscribers we have, the more it starts recommending those videos to people, and we want more people to see it, because the more people that see it, the more people might have the nudge that we had. So please, do it now. Do it. Oh, I'm watching it on my phone. Well, I don't know, watch it on something else and then go to your phone.
Yeah.
But go to YouTube, type in 2 White Muslims, and please, 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 when you're at the channel, subscribe.
Just a really quick thing. People who are a bit shy to give dawah, they have friends from the West and so on. You know, sometimes it's like not that simple to just be like, hey, by the way, Islam. They can just say, by the way, I have 2 white Muslim friends.
Yeah, have a look at this. You'll never guess what. You know that foreign religion that we don't know anything about? There's only 2 white guys going to do it.
And that's dawah in itself.
Absolutely.
That's dawah. Okay, so if you subscribe to the 2 White Muslims, this is a quick overview of what you'll get when you subscribe, inshallah.
Muslims believe that Muhammad, peace be upon him, was chosen by Allah as the last and final prophet and messenger to the whole of humanity, to deliver the message of peace known as Islam.
Over a period of 5 days. It is the largest annual gathering of people in the world, and a demonstration of the solidarity of the Muslim people and their submission to the will of
Muhammad,
God.
peace be upon him, was not only sent for one nation and for one time, but for the whole of humanity, and throughout the ages until the day of judgment.
Muslims believe that God, Allah, sent different messengers to humanity throughout the ages, all with similar teachings, confirming the belief of the oneness of God. These prophets are the same as those revered in Judaism and Christianity, and include Noah, Moses, Isaac, Jacob, and David. Peace be upon them all.
The first action required is prayer. This is known as salah. Prayer is very important to Muslims, and there are 5 daily prayers.
6 Muslim women have appeared on the Forbes 100 Most Powerful Women list. According to Forbes, the number of women leaders in the world has more than doubled since 2005.
Okay, so what is Islam? Well, Islam is a religion practiced by over 1.6 billion people worldwide.
Junaid, when you use the words Muslims and Islam, tell me, what's the difference?
Great question.
In fact, many people believe that the direct translation of the word jihad is in fact holy war. Now this couldn't be further from the truth. So how come this is the case?
Well, it's primarily because the word is used repeatedly by the Western press, who either implicitly or explicitly link it to the term holy war. As a matter of fact, the term holy war was coined in Europe during the Crusades and actually referred to the war waged against Muslims by the Crusaders. The term holy war does not exist within the Islamic vernacular.
Many Muslims have positively contributed to the UK economy and to the UK society by moving to this country to take up work. And with them, they brought their religion. They brought Islam. Alhamdulillah.
So there we go. That's just an example of the 21 video series that we put up initially. Since then, we upload content every single week. There's podcasts on there as well that we do twice a week.
Yep.
So a huge amount of content. And the way for us to get it out there is the more people that subscribe and view those, the more YouTube recommends it to loads of other people out there. And that's how we can get the message out. So please go to YouTube, type in
2 White Muslims.
That's
TWO, White Muslims.
and whilst you're there, please, please, please do
Click
subscribe.
the red button.
When you click the red button, it goes from subscribe to
Subscribed.
brilliant. So please do that.